I am so excited to be doing this book review today for you guys. I have been waiting for this book to come out for, well, let me be honest, for basically only a couple of weeks because I only stumbled upon the first installment of this series like a month ago, which I did a book review on Red Queen. So if you haven't seen this book review, probably go check this one out first before you watch Glass Sword, because this is the second book to this one. So here is what I have noticed, because one of the first things that I always search out in the books that I read is the romance. Who loves who? Why? How does it happen? Is it the main part of the book? So I will tell you, in Red Queen, this isn't about love. There's love in it, but it's not solely about the main female character and the main male character being in love. I will say that this book was somewhat difficult for me to read. I don't know if that's because I was searching for more of the love between the two characters. Now, if you've seen my Red Queen or if you've read Red Queen, I'm going to go ahead and speak about this book as if you already know who I'm talking about. So you've got Mare Barrow. She's the female lead in this book. She's about 17 years old, and her special ability is that she is red and silver, but bleeds red blood. And she's the little lightning girl. But she's also special because she's the only one who can actually produce her talent within her. She doesn't have to have like a special bracelet. She doesn't have to have something out in front of her to grab onto and harness her power. She can actually like create it within her body. So that's what makes her extra special, and I'm going to talk about that further because I have some issues with how, what's her name? Victoria Avard has kind of written that. But other than that, I think Victoria's done a really good job. But it was a little bit difficult to read. This reminds me a lot of New Moon from Twilight, right? Twilight, you've got 4 series. You've got Twilight. New Moon was the second one, Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn. So New Moon was one of the hardest ones for me to watch in the movie because Edward's not really in it that much and Bella's very depressed, but there's so much information that needs to happen in New Moon for the other stuff to come, and that's kind of how I've seen Glass Sword, or how I've read it. So before I get into my opinion of this book, I'm going to go ahead and give you an overview of what this is about. When I was searching for the next book and when it was going to be out, all to find out that in this book, you get all kinds of treats in here. You get an alternate ending to Red Queen. Oh yes, and it's not just any ending. It gave me goosebumps and I was like, what does this mean? And she also gave an alternate opening chapter to this book. So she does her opening chapter here, and then in the back, you can read the changing chapter that matches the alternate ending to this. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when this becomes a movie and which ending they go with, because let me tell you, the difference is humongous. It's basically Shade's, in these books, they make you think Shade is just a jumper, but the alternate endings completely suggest that Shade can also jump time, not just distances and locations. So really makes me wonder why she set it up this way. Maybe, you know, when you are an author and you write a book and then you think of ideas later and you're like, oh my gosh, I should have gone with this. I think that's what happened here. I think the rest of it was already in production. So I have no idea. This is just my thought. I do this every time when I'm editing. I go into how I'm gonna tell you what the book is about and then I trail off. So I'm gonna try this one more time and try to stick to what this is about and kind of keep it as short but descriptive as possible. So we know how it ended in Red Queen, and this starts by basically Mare and Cal realize they've been saved. No one really trusts Cal anymore. He is a silver. So somehow they make their way back to an island that the silvers have all but forgotten about, where apparently the Scarlet Guard has set up as one of their like camps. They basically take Cal prisoner. And the whole time Mare's like, No. But the worst part is, after Maven's betrayal, that Mare does not trust anybody. And that's very frustrating. I kind of liked it, but at the same time, it was a little much. And ultimately, she kind of makes some really bad choices, but she just simply does not trust anybody, not even her brother Shade. They get on this island where Farley's father is basically managing everything, and he's not really all that great. He's not really all that different from Maven. And so Mare's kind of like, oh great, you know, I go from Maven to this. And she basically finds a way to leave the island. She's like, this isn't gonna work for me, because what we need to do is find the people on the list. The people on the list is something she shared with Maven when she thought Maven was still on her side. All to find out that there are a bunch of people just like Mare and Shade, who are red and silver, stronger than both. And then she goes, Maven has this list. We've got to rescue these people before he gets to them and kills them. So she sets out to get Cal, breaks him out of his jail cell with the help of Farley and Kalorn. Farley defies her father, it's a whole thing. And they basically hijack one of his planes that he's basically stolen from the Silvers. And they set out through this whole book basically trying to find new bloods, which is what they're calling it, which is basically red and silver mixed together, but they bleed red. Okay, but they have abilities like silver, they all have different gifts. And the gifts that she describes in here are bad to the bone. They are just so much better than Twilight gifts. I can only imagine, I hate to say this, but I can only imagine when Stephanie Myers reads this and she reads some of these gifts and she's like, why didn't I think of that? I will tell you that the gifts she gives all of these people will blow your mind. They're so genius. And I'm just like, wow, like you're a very talented person. So back to the summary, which apparently takes like 5 or 10 minutes to tell you. They spend their whole time getting on this plane, touching down into certain spots throughout their little nation, whatever it's called, and trying to find these people and rescuing them and taking them on. Some of them they are able to rescue in time, and some of them Maven's already gotten to. So, and a lot of this, every time that these characters use their powers, they can't just use it and they're fine. Every time they use it, they get weak, and the more they use it, the worse they get. So Mare basically is no longer sleeping, she's no longer eating, and she is just on this mission. She wants to save all of these people. As they are rescuing some of these new bloods, Cal is training them. He's a born general and a soldier because he likes to go to the war fronts. He does want to be a good king, so he's training them. Mare's not really a people person. She's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna stick back here in the shadows. Every time they reach to a new blood when it's too late, Maven has been leaving her little notes. And Maven has this obsession with getting Mare back. And he's basically telling her in these notes, he's like, you know, my mom's one thing, but ultimately, if I want to have you, I'm basically going to have you. And in one situation, he creates some sort of electrical wave thing that kind of scars her whole body and almost kills her, and she's out for like 4 days. And he brands like an M, I think somewhere in her throat and her chest. I'm not sure. It's just so much information in here that I was on overload half the time, but then I couldn't put the book down. So don't torment yourself like me. I would try to pace yourself because it's just a lot. So ultimately, in the end, how it ends, you're gonna have to read this and find out. That's the one thing I'm not gonna disclose in here. And it ends where you're like, and then the next thing you do, you're like, all to find out, okay, well, that's fine how it ends. When does the next book come out? And then when you see 2017, and not even a month, not even a day, you just see 2017 glaring back at you, you're like, how am I supposed to survive that? How does she expect me to go on in my life and function without knowing what the heck is going to happen to Mare? Like, are you kidding me right now? Mentioned in Red Queen, and I'm gonna mention in depth even further for this, but I just don't like how Victoria has written Mare's ability, okay? She gives her the gift of lightning. She kind of, in my opinion, contradicts herself all the time in this book. She paints Mare as this girl with this amazing talent. She can produce her own storm, she can produce her own electricity within her body, she can like start up airplanes, she can do all this stuff. But yet when she comes across any other person with an ability, they can shut her ability down like that. And I don't like that. If Victoria is going to describe Mare as super special and as this leader and as this, oh my God ability, then you should have made her abilities untouchable. Who agrees with me? Give this video a thumbs up if you agree with me, if you've read Red Queen and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I feel like if Mare is as special as you paint her, as special as you keep telling me, keep feeding me in these books that she is, then why are people like Cameron able to shut her down, Megatrons and all of this stuff? Why? Why don't you just make her so special that no one can penetrate her gift? Like, why not? Okay, then if she's going to be just like any other new blood, then stop painting the picture that she's so freaking special with her ability. Maybe she's special in terms of leadership, in terms of this desire to make things right, but don't keep painting her ability so freaking special unless you have something coming in this third book. But otherwise, so far, there are a lot of people that she's come across that have shut down her abilities. Arvin can suffocate her. Silent Stone, which is kind of like a concrete that they make for silvers, and if you are confined in Silent Stone like crushes and stops you from being able to use. There are tons of things that she has written that has taken hold of Mare's abilities and stopped her from using them. And I don't like that. I feel like I'm going, well, which is it? Is she special or is she not special? Because I'm not sure that I completely understand this. I wish I could talk so much more about this book and really get even further deeper, maybe get into some of the chapters and talk about how I feel about them, but then this book review would just be an hour long. So if you guys maybe want me to do a part 2 ever to any of the book reviews that I've ever done and you want more information, I kind of realized that with my Hunger Games book review, which I did last week, which is one of my favorite book reviews because I'm a little nuts over PETA. But I realized watching it back that I didn't give out as much information as I wanted to really tell you how I felt about PETA and Katniss. I spend most of my time kind of catching you up and telling you what it's about. So if you ever need a part 2, if you ever need additional info on my book reviews and you want to know more from me on these, just comment down below, let me know, just request a part 2. I will definitely, most definitely do a video of that for you guys. So with that said, I really do hope that you enjoyed this book review. I love these so much. Thank you so much for loving my channel and for being so supportive and watching these videos. I know they don't get the most views and I'm fine with that, but it's just so fun and it does feel like a book club, and I hope that you guys love this book review. I love Mare and Cal together. I want to make that clear. I definitely love Mare and her ability, and I love Cal. I just feel like Victoria needs to do some explaining, and hopefully maybe they'll change some things a little bit in the movie, because I know one day this is going to be a movie. It has to be. It's too good not to be. So yeah, so that's it. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.